All right, artists, I have done my penguin research in my sketchbook, and I chose the rockhopper penguin. And now I've gathered all of my tools to make my automata or puppet that moves. So you'll need to gather your scissors, a hole punch. These need to be shared because we don't have a full class set right now. You'll need a glue bottle, a small piece of tape, a paper cylinder, 3 straws, 1 regular straw, 2 bendy straws. These have the bendy on them, a pencil, and a piece of cardstock. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and gather your tools if you have not already gotten them together. And I'll see you back here shortly to start creating. All right, so I'm going to start by creating the base that's going to be at the bottom of my penguin. The cylinder here will be the body of the penguin, and you'll be cutting wings and a head and the base out of the cardstock. So I'm going to start by just tracing my cylinder. This is important to do accurately because you want it to fit on the bottom here after you cut it out. And then I'm just going to sketch a ring or circle around. I'm going to move this up out of the way. The circle that I traced. I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, so now I have 4 sections. I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is important because we want to be able to make this into tabs that are small enough that they will glue flush against the cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And then I'm going to cut the tabs. So just cutting on each of these lines. Okay, and now I'm going to fold on each of the lines so that they fold upwards. Like so. Makes like a little mini bowl or tray, right? And my cylinder should fit right inside of it. I will eventually be gluing them, gluing this base onto here. So now I'm going to take, and I want to try to aim for the center. It doesn't have to be a perfect center, but I'm going to aim for the center. And probably need to fold over one of the tabs there so that I can have that. So what's going to happen is the non-bendy straw will be going through here like this. Will sit on the base, right? And the penguin head will bump up and down in there. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side for the moment. And I'm going to put 2 holes. I want them to be roughly across from each other. So 1, and then if I put my cylinder so that I can see directly across, right? If I line up the pencil, I can make a little line here. And I want the hole to be, to be in as far as it will go. So they're even. Right? So theoretically, they line up. I can put this straw through, and it's about even sides. Right? So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my straw here, and I'm going to take it off of the base. I'm going to put the not bendy straw, the straight straw, in the center between the two bendy straws. I want the bendy parts to both be up at the top, and I'm going to align them all so that they're even up at the top here. Okay, bottoms are probably not going to be even, but I want it to be even at the top. All right, and then I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to put my tape across here and just roll it over. So now they're 3 in a row, and then I'm just going to finish it around so it's nice and strong and secure. Okay, so I am ready to put this into the cylinder. Now this is going to be the wings here. They're a little bit long right now. I'm not worried about that at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and stick these inside, and then I have to use some strategies to get my straws, my bendy straw, to go through the hole. And I can't do the first straw all the way through until I get the second straw in. It's okay if the straws bend a little bit as they're going in. Pulling them down. Okay, I want to get them down there. So, like so. And then I can go ahead and put the base back on. Come on. And now I would glue little dots of glue around the tabs and glue that on. I'm going to show you the next steps. So now you can see it flaps, right? It moves up and down and it flaps. All right. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I have here my sketch, and I have the width of, I want to look at the width of my paper cylinder. It's about that wide. So I know that the neck needs to fit inside of here. So my neck, my head and neck. So my penguin head, I'm going to sketch that in. I'm not going to do too many details right now. I can add the color later. And my penguins colors come underneath here like this. Now I want to play with this later. I'm going to add some details to it with construction paper so that it's got the crazy rockhopper feathers, because these are feathers that stick out. So I'm going to leave that off of my sketch, and then I've got to do 2 wings. Now to do the wings, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the head off there, and I'm going to fold this paper in half so that I have 2 wings that are the same. They're symmetrical, so this is folded in half, and they will be opposite. So I'm going to make them as big as I can get on this paper here. All right. And I'll go back and add the color to that later, because they're black on the front, on the back or the top of the wings, so that when they're in the water, something looking down at them from above sees the black and it blends in with the ocean. And the bottoms or underside is white, so that when they're swimming in the water and a shark is, or a sharks, so they're one of their main predators, is underneath them, they see light color, so it looks more like the sky. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the head. Now obviously you could make a really complicated design, so I got to double check that it fits in there. I might trim just a little bit so that it's not rubbing up against the edge. And obviously these wings are way too big, so I'm going to edit and revise so that it fits. I'm going to get a piece of tape for the moment. I think it would be fun to do a second head so it had a front and a back. So rather than looking at the back of, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and just grab a scrap paper here and do that. So just like I did the wings, I'm going to put the head on here, and I can either trace around it, or I can, if I can hold it nice and steady. Holding a bigger piece of paper is harder than a smaller piece of paper, so I'm going to try to cut out the big shape first. All right. Okay, and then I can put this head on here and this head on here, and I'm going to need 2 little tabs of tape to do the reverse side. So I'm going to tape and tape, and then like an ice cream sandwich, right? Now I'm going to have to edit this a little bit. It seems like it needs to be narrower yet. So as an artist, as an engineer, you are constantly editing and revising. You're evaluating, what do I need to do so that this will work more efficiently? Okay, so now my bird is going to move up and down. I have a front and a back. I can decorate the back. And I'm going to do the same thing for the wings, just because I think that was cool. Now the other thing is the wings are way too long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut. I don't want to cut too close, so I cut that much off. I want to cut the same amount off on the other side. So I cut off, for me, 3 fingers. Right? You don't have to measure it exactly. We're not being mathematical in this. And I would do the same thing, right? So I'm going to tape these 2 wings onto this side and then 2 wings onto that side. Add some color. And I'd like you to imagine what other than a bird, what other than a penguin, right? What kind of puppet could you create? So your challenge after you've created a penguin is to come up with design a different puppet, something that is not a penguin, preferably not even a bird. Okay, so what would your next puppet be of? Happy creating, and I look forward to seeing your explorations and work. Thank you.